ado, let me introduce our special guests. So, ladies and gentlemen, with us today we have Stan Nze. He is an award-winning Nollywood actor. He gained recognition in 2020 for his role in the movie Rattlesnake. Now, that was a very interesting movie where he
I know,
played
right?
the role of Ahana, the leader of a notorious robbery gang. And one thing I found very interesting in the movie was that you guys actually traveled.
Yes, we did.
How many countries did you travel to for the movie?
It was just South Africa. So we
South
shot in
Africa.
Lagos, Abuja, and then South Africa, yes.
Oh, that was awesome. So, and for this movie, you won the 2022 AMVCA for Best Actor in Drama.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, to our audience, Stan has featured in many other amazing movies and TV shows, including Tinsel, This Is It, Becoming Army, The Bitter Rain, Prophetess, and Love Unbroken, amongst others. If I want to stand, when I was going through your IMDb, at least I was just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So you've definitely been busy.
I know.
And I also want to shed light on the fact that Stan here is also the lead. He was the lead actor in the current #1 movie on Nigerian movie on Netflix, which is Afamefuna, an In-One Boy story.
Absolutely.
Did I get that right?
Absolutely. Yes, you did. You did.
So I know you also have like upcoming projects in the future, like Oloturi, but we'll get to that later on. And yeah, so just to get us started, I just want to ask you, how does it feel to have your movie to be the lead actor in the current #1 movie in the country? How does that feel?
It's quite a very humbling experience for me. Like I had a meeting with some of the actors and crew members, like the executive producer and the producer of the film today. We had a meeting with an agency, and I recount that one of the things I kept saying was the fact that this film is a film founded on grace. It's pure grace. I mean, I know that we have good material out, right? So it's a case of what you have in your hand, and I'll bless it. That's we just brought what we had, and God has literally just multiplied what people know today as Afamefuna and the #1 film on Netflix. For me, it is very humbling. Would I say I saw it coming? Not necessarily. Of course, everybody wants any film they do to blow, to be recognized, to be on TV, to be loved. That's the reason we do the arts, right? Anytime I act in a movie, anytime I put my best into any character, I'm hoping that people can relate to it and find themselves or find somebody that they know in it. And once they're able to do that, it means that they'll be able to recommend it to other people. And that's how it starts, like a small fire that eventually evolves into a volcano, which is what I'm seeing that is happening. So for us, it's a very humbling experience. I want to say a very big thank you to God, because God is the PR for this film. We haven't paid anybody for any post. People are sharing, people are posting, people are tagging me, they're putting on their stories, they're doing reviews about it. And that we really appreciate everyone that's jumped on it.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. Congrats. More ways, long may it remain as the #1 spot.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
the movie, other than its success and everything, the acclaim that it's getting, I feel like the story itself is a very good story, which is probably why a lot of people resonate with it, or it resonates with a lot of people.
Yeah.
The Enwa Boy story is just basically telling us a story about something that a lot of us are familiar with, especially those of us who live in Lagos.
Mm-hmm.
The story of young boys coming from the East, learning trade and, trying to make a name for themselves. So just in your own words, can you tell us the cultural significance of the Enwa Boy story?
I mean, so it's a very Nigerian story. I would have said, it sets the core people in the film, the lead characters and the lead actors are Igbo people, and of course the Igbo apprenticeship system is popularly known with the Igbos. But I like to think that this film is not just an Igbo film; it's a Nigerian film. It's a film that is core to our values, and what our belief systems and our resilience, our diligence, our hard work, because every Nigerian has that Niger spirit, the hustling spirit, the I can do it spirit, regardless of where they find themselves. That's why you go all over the world, you see that we're the best, wherever we are, we just put in our best. That's what the Inwa Boy story is. It just happens that the Inwa Boy is just a prototype of what every young Nigerian is.
A hustling
And so it's very
spirit.
true. The hustling spirit is very true to our culture. It's very true to what we believe as a people, and it's very great for exports. I mean, I get a lot of messages saying, "Oh, I never knew that." My eyes have been open to what business in Africa is, what business in Nigeria is. The Yorubas are saying, "Wow, I never even knew that this." I love the Igbo culture. So he's selling culture. We've had films a lot of times that sold the Yoruba culture and the Hausa culture, even with Amina, but we never had a film that really talked about this part of Nigeria, which we are all a part of, And what is even most iconic about this movie for me is the fact that it was executive produced, funded by a Yoruba woman, Mrs. Laomi Fajemiroko, so
the names were not just Igbo; they were from different parts of the country.
Absolutely. So it's a true Nigerian film. So they didn't do the cast. The Yoruba, the executive producer, they didn't come and say, "Let me tell a film about my people, please." No, or let me look for an Igbo director. So when we were shooting, people said, "Oh, why is the Yoruba guy directing the film?" But that's not what we should be talking about. What we should be talking about as a people is the story and how it has affected our lives and how it's our story and we should be exporting it. There's been a documentary about this. It's been studied at Harvard, but nobody has ever, visually told the story. And this is the first time it's been done, and it tells our culture greatly. And I'm so glad that I'm part of it, and, we're able to tell the story at such a time as this. So it's great to bring Nigerians together. So when you're thinking it's an Igbo film, don't look no further. It's not an Igbo film because a Yoruba woman made it. It's not an Igbo film because a Yoruba director made it. So it's a Nigerian story, rather than just thinking, oh, it's just about the Igbo culture. Yes, the Igbo culture is on the front line, and that's the language with which we're telling the story. There's a bit of Yoruba in it. There's a bit of Hausa. There's a character that speaks both Igbo and Hausa in it. So all of that is just to show the diversity and richness of the Nigerian people. Absolutely, yes.
And for you, I mean, what you're saying makes a lot of sense. You're not just saying all of this because, in my research, I've seen that you have been in the roles that you've acted, in an Ebuka, Ebuchi, and Nnamdi. But you've also been a Boyega, a Dotu, an Ali,
Absolutely.
a Tolu, a Farouk, a
Absolutely.
Chito. So how does it feel playing these different roles? Like, what is the process of because when you take a name of a character, it's not just a name, you also embody, just even if it's just a little bit, the culture that they are representing.
I've had a film, what at Prime Street, that was 2013, I had to learn how to do that. I've had films where I had to speak Yoruba. I mean, I'm Nigerian, I'm an actor, it's just a clean slate. I have a film coming to Netflix. I don't know that I can talk so much about it yet. I spoke purely Yoruba, and it's not just Yoruba, it's the conk Yoruba. And my Yoruba is very Igbo-tic, so I'm going to be doing ADR. Don't ask me why. But I like to take challenges like that. I like to sell our culture. I'm not just, yes, Igbo is something I'm mostly went to it, and I like to, because it's my strength, I'd rather do a film in Igbo, but I'm open to doing any project in any language, and just to sell the culture in Pidgin. It's about the Nigerian spirit, and that's what I stand for. It's not a walk in the park, especially when it has to be a language I'm not comfortable with. When it's outside Yoruba, it would take me more time to get into it, to, rehearse, ask my friends, send me voice notes, get a coach. But I'm going to keep doing projects like that will keep showcasing us as Nigerians in a good light, rather than just doing the Igbo films. I'm a Nigerian actor. I'm an African actor. That's what I want to sell.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, just now to talk about the Nigerian movie industry, just in a broader perspective, what is your take on the cultural representation in Nigerian movies as a whole, like currently where we are now?
I think we're doing great. you know, selling our culture. There's a lot of projects that sell the Nigerian culture. There are lots of them. There's Jagun Jagun, there's King of Thieves. You know, the Yoruba movie industry has done a great job. Nollywood as a whole, because I don't like to, there's no dichotomies. We're all one, you know, it's just that different people are telling different stories, have done greatly to tell such stories. Amina, there's, you know, there's been Living in Bondage, there's been Wedding
Yeah.
Party. Wedding Party was in English, but they sold what a Nigerian wedding is, and that's culture. You know, of course, they were the Yorubas, they were the
Definitely.
Igbo families. So that's, if you've never attended an Owambe or a Nigerian wedding ever, that movie takes you into gives you an insight to what it really looks like. Because when you watch Wedding Party 1, you just feel like, oh, I just attended a Nigerian wedding, you know, and that's what it is. There are lots of projects too that are doing that. However, I still think that there's so much of that needs to be done. People are still of the opinion that, oh, my film has to be in English. I have a script. I have a film I'm starting on Tuesday. I know that I was talking to a director. I don't know if I'm able to say this. Yeah, well, Kayode Kasum is directing as well. And I know I was talking to him about 2 hours ago or 3 hours ago, just while I was driving. And I was like, okay, how much of Igbo do we have in this film? And he said 50%, 50-50. And I'm like, why do we have 50-50? Why is it not all in Igbo? There's an audience for that. People are clamoring for us to sell our culture to the world. People want to hear us speak our language. English is borrowed. Yes, it's our lingua franca here, but it still has limitations. It's not what we're comfortable with. How about these guys know English already? Why are we not telling stories that we have to do in Igbo? And it's not okay, 70-30, 70% Igbo. And I say, why is the entire thing not in Igbo? And that's the argument we're still having. And I'm hoping that I'll win that argument and let the entire film be done in Igbo. People love that. People watch Korean films. People watch Chinese films. People watch Indian films.
And
I
you
watch
reach
those films and I enjoy it. Yes. So why can't we? The universal language in these films is the arts, right? It's the film, the storytelling. That's what people want to see. So whatever language you decide to do it in is inconsequential. But we should always pay attention to selling our own culture and our own language in the costumes, in the little things that we put in place. Like after Mifuna didn't wasn't out to show all the bouginess and all the glamour that Nigeria has, but even in the little details, in the settling, in the kola nuts, in the small things here, small thing here, small I dotted here, small T dotted here, we're able to sell what the Nigerian culture is to a larger audience at a great deal. So I think that's what we should be doing with our project. Whenever any producer, like I for one now, that's one of the things I want to be thinking of. Whenever I'm making a film, I want to be thinking, how am I exporting Nigeria to the world? What am I saying? You know, what's part of the Nigerian culture? Am I educating the universe about? You know, what am I saying to them? You know, other than just making the movie for, yes, we're gonna make money. Money's going to be made. Of course, people want to make their money back when they make a film. But these are things we can also infuse nicely and still communicate greatly and still entertain people. I see a
yeah.
lot of people
Just
saying
to
hi here. Hi guys, sorry, we're having
hello everyone.
I see you all, Zayans, I see you, lovers of affirmation, I see you. Thank you for watching the film. God bless you.
So just to add to what you were saying, I also
Mhm.
feel like it adds to the authenticity a bit because I feel like now this is just an observation about the Nigerian movie industry. In a lot of films, you notice that they pay attention to good diction and proper English. The actors are spelling out all the words properly, and in as much
Mm,
as it's nice, it communicates properly. It doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't feel authentic because this is not really how we speak in real life. Now, so we
absolutely.
follow ourselves too. So
Hey, we
like,
know
you
with
feel
the
all these things,
background,
you
with the background for real life.
don't
We
have
get some
time.
big words where we don't know.
Do you
We they use
understand?
that with the but when it comes for the film, we want Oyibo pass Oyibo the same.
They
I
want you all put them
beg
all the
you.
all the
Eh,
everything inside.
it is
So I
stress too much.
because as a viewer, as a Nigerian viewer, as you're watching it, I feel like you're people on the screen. So
Mm,
I'm absolutely for it. Even for me, I'm a Yoruba person, but when I was watching some of these movies, like it makes me even more fascinated and curious about other cultures that exist within my country, and it makes me even
hmm.
appreciate it better because on a normal day, if
Absolutely.
I hear people speaking Igbo, I have no idea what they're saying. But as I'm watching two people speaking Igbo on the screen and I'm seeing the translation,
Mm,
I feel like I'm part of that conversation.
yes.
So
I've heard
It's
people
definitely
say, "Oh, I
direction.
now know the word. I now know what it means to.
Exactly.
I now know what love is." Ihunaya in Igbo.
You
I've heard people
understand?
say, "Oh, I learned a word or two. See me learning Igbo. I'm interested." You know, like people say, "Oh, you have to learn Chinese. Chinese is one of the top languages in the world now. You can. They are the leading businesses. Oh, this, that, that." People, Nigerians are going to learn Chinese, but we will be
Yes.
Me will be Igbo here. Never say me we learn Yoruba. The one with our
You understand?
neighborhoods. Yoruba never say me we learn Igbo. And the people will only want to do this when you make the languages attractive.
Exactly.
You know, when there's something about it they want to learn and they want to keep. Otherwise, people want to go, rather go and learn French. You know, German, learn. You know, so
You
I feel
understand?
like this selling these languages will help people to be interested in it and give it a try.
Definitely, definitely. Even for me, I've literally been hearing one name my entire life. I just found out that one name is my brother, or
My
a sense of
brother,
kinship. So
bro. You know how everybody just says bro, my bro. Not
exactly,
necessarily brother by blood, but you know, like my guy.
my guy. So now at this point in this interview, I want to
Hmm.
also reintroduce what we're doing. Hello, everyone. Welcome to PAU Insights. This is the first episode of this series. Here we have conversations with industry professionals in the Nigerian film industry, and we discuss and have nice casual conversations, also serious conversations about what's going on in the industry, the present, the future, and everything. Also, at this point, I also want to talk a little about Pan Atlantic University. That's PAU, the platform that's hosting this program. PAU has a media program, media unit that specifies in different disciplines. One of them is film production. I
Exactly.
myself, at this point, my name is Deshi, Tamilore Adesina or Deshi. I'm a cinematographer, drone pilot, and filmmaker. I did my undergraduate in PAU, and I'm currently doing my master's in film production at the Pan Atlantic University. So film is something that we are, as a school, we're paying a lot of attention to. And I was really amazed and honored given the opportunity to host this first episode. So yeah, check out Pan Atlantic University. This is our page, PAU Nigeria. Check our website and see what our program is about. That said, back to our
Mhm.
special guest, Stan. Being a graduate of computer science, what did carry you come film?
My brother, that's another long story. Um, so to be honest, I don't know whether I should be ashamed saying this now. I mean, one of the reasons I studied comedy. So before I entered school, I was already interested in acting, and I remember that then one of my cousin that got into school before me, Udoka, had said, she was in 100 level, and she had said, "Oh God, yeah, we the medicine, we did so far." And one of my friend like that is reading one of my friend. You see how they used to have plenty lecture free day. I said, my sister, please, what lecture, what course is that? Yeah, computer science. Oh, I said, that's my course right there. So that I could have time to do entertainment. I know that this is weird, but I got into school and it was not a walk in the park, to be honest. You know, it's easier said than done. I could count how many lecture free days I had. It was tedious, it was tough. I had to do maths, I had to do statistics, you
You
know. I
always knew
had
you
to
wanted to do film.
from when I finished from secondary school, I wanted to do film, but I was already studying sciences, so it was awkward having to maybe write WAEC again or GCE just to switch. So for me, I felt okay. I didn't have people are laughing. I didn't have to study theater art to be an actor. I felt it was innate. I could get trainings, but you know, I just go on and study something else, which I'm not using today. But I still feel there's a correlation between what I studied with what I'm doing now. I mean, there's YouTube, there's films coming to streamers. Is how we can get you know what they work into mainstream media and stuff. So it's still how we can get it into the palms of our hands, just by getting into our phone. So it's still very much related, and I'll still sort of invest in that.
Okay. So what were the steps that you took to actually get into the film industry the way you are now? I know
I did.
many have passed. So can you like just give us a quick summary?
Yeah, well, quick summary. So I finished school 2005. I got into a pre-science program, but just before I got into pre-science program, I know I started asking people, how do I get into the industry? Ogokoye used to live in my compound. I know that I will ask her, Auntie, help me now. How do we do this? And she say, even she too, she's just an actor. She don't used to give people role. Oh. She just do the hustle. Everybody they try. And I didn't understand it then because in my head, can't you just carry me and go to your state and let's just start acting together? But just the same way, people employ her to act. You know, it's such a producer. If you're just an actor, there's nothing much you can do. And then she didn't know how much talent I had. I was just a random boy. I remember that my mom used to sell bread. So I used to be in the store where we used to sell bread and recharge card and stuff. You know, just before, just before I entered school. Eventually, I got into school. I was in a pre-science program at the Nnamdi University in Baku at the time, Baku campus. And then I joined a campus fellowship, and the campus fellowship had a drama group. So I joined the drama group, Champions Theatre. And in fact, I joined drama and because I like to think I sing. So I joined the choir. So the first Saturday was for rehearsal. So I joined choir, sang. You know how we had a song where I joined drama, I acted drama. So, but the drama members ministered first before the choir. Before I ministered my drama finish, you know how drama you rub chalk, wear singlet, tie wrapper before you finish. After Champions Theatre, they were already calling the choir, so it was hard for me to now change again, get into the choir. I say, I beg this also, might just did this drama. This drama, why I don't add today, might just there. That's how I stayed in Champions Theatre. But I realized that I was just extra passionate about it. You know, like this dream, right? You don't know how much of you don't know how it's burning on your inside. You don't know how talented you are. You know that you can act. Your instinct is telling you that you can act. You know, you feel it. When you see things on TV, you go to your mirror, you rehearse it. But you don't know how well you're going to do in front of a camera. You don't know who is going to appreciate your craft. You don't know how good you are. But every time I performed or I ministered rather, I had people come up to me and say, "Guy, you're really good though. You act so well." And I realized that whenever I had to, put in when I was given a role to play, I would, when I'm going to the stream to fetch water there in the number, I'm trying to put more, because then they need to give us script. They just tell you, oh, this is your character. You are the one that is the wicked uncle that pursued this girl from the land. You just by yourself add words, add your lines, improvise. And I was very passionate. You could just tell that I enjoyed doing this thing. I couldn't wait for rehearsals. I couldn't wait to minister on Sundays. It was just innate. And from encouragement for people, I just knew that I have to take this top notch. I was made the assistant drama coordinator at some point, and at some point I became the drama coordinator. And then we started ministering in. People would invite us to minister outside campus in order for other campus fellowships. That's how it just started. I would go outside campus to minister with the senior Champions Theatre because, of course, we're in a different campus, and just that. And then I think sometime in that same 2006. I was on holiday, and I'd asked somebody in school then that knows about Nollywood. Apparently, he was a director, and yeah, he asked me to go for audition somewhere at Winnie's Hotel in Surulere. I went there. I met some actors. In fact, I didn't even audition. I just saw people that were going to set, and I wanted to join them. I had joined them to go to set, but there was no role, so I was just hanging around and asking them if they could just give me any work. Waka pass. In fact, I didn't mind to do waka pass because then I was saying I was an actor, but I didn't have any role to identify me as an actor. There was nothing. How can you say you're an actor? You have not done anything. So I say, okay, let me even act, even if it's waka pass. So when they ask me what roles have you done, you say I have acted. You don't need to tell them that you have acted waka pass. Just call the name of the movie. What did you act in it? I was and there was no role for me then. And I remember somebody, I think his name was Chidi. I can't remember his surname now. And he was the production manager for that set. And I told him that I wanted to be that. So he said there was no role that day. And I was like, okay, I can be coming every day, anyhow. And he said, okay, you know what? There's no need coming here. Just go to National Theatre. I will let you know when there's an audition. Go there, audition. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to have to audition because I don't want anybody to reject me. Because I wasn't sure how much talent I had. So please let me not audition because I don't want somebody to now tell me you are acting badly or don't give me the role. I'm not start feeling bad. Let me just start from Waka Pass and just be carrying bag. I was okay with starting small. And he said something very profound to me. He said, if you're not ready to be rejected, you're not ready for Nollywood. Go there, let them reject you. Just start. push. And I remember I think the next day he sent me an audition. And I bought one shirt. There's one very nice shirt I bought from these guys that usually, these malams that carry shirts. I just saw one I can't remember, I can't forget. I bought a very checkers, like a yellow, brown, black checkers shirt. I bought it and I realized that there was a hole. So I had this small hole that I didn't see when I was buying it. When I saw that hole, I said, you know what, I'll still wear this shirt. I found a button. It's very small button. A black button. I just tacked it around that place and it just became like design. And I said, okay, we don't start. Audition, here we go. I went for that audition. I was so nervous. The style of audition they were doing that day was called point and kill. And this point and kill is they come and point to people that they're casting for. Maybe if there are 10 characters in the film, and maybe the first character is Chimebuka, they'll come and say, and the Chimebuka is like 30 to 35. They'll just check the people that look like 30 to 35. You come, you come. That's how they were doing it. And they not just get to my category. In my head, there's no role for me here. And when it was the end of the audition, they now said, oh, if you are 16 to, and this I was about 16 then, between 16 and 20, come out. I said, okay, my category don't come. That's how I came out. And they pointed at me first to read a particular script. I was so nervous. My hands were shaking. I was trembling because I was the first. I took the role. And I've not really read the script, so I didn't know what was there. This was a moment of, will you be able to act? This thing you have been doing on stage, will you be able to translate to screen? Will I be able to do it? And then I turned that shit because the guy was supposed to be angry. It was this guy that was supposed to sleep with his girlfriend, but she didn't want to give him sex. So he was angry. Why are you coming here? Why you know? And I turned that nervousness to like anger. Like, when you're angry, you're shaking. I turned it to shake. I said, get it. So they not say, wow. I say, hey, bless her, Axwell. Because so when it was time to pick, they now called the final list. I was the one they chose for that character. And that's how I got my first role in Nollywood. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do it because I kept calling them. I didn't even want to know. I didn't want my mom to know that I got the role, so I just kept hiding it. And I kept calling the PM. When are we shooting this film? They told me we'll shoot in 1 week. And remember, I was in school. I already gotten admission.
Yeah.
This was first year in my 100 level. I'd already gotten admission. I was supposed to go back to school after long back to enter second year. How will I be telling my mom I'm in the house waiting to act film? I took the script. It was about 12 scenes. Was KOK. KOK was supposed to be my father. I didn't tell him that. It's called the Holocaust. KOK was supposed to play my father, and Ngozi Ezono was supposed to play my mom. So I was ready. And when it got to, so they didn't call me. After 2 weeks, I went back to school. And I think like a week or two later, they called me and said, oh, you're on set tomorrow. I'm like, what? I didn't want to tell them I was not because I was in Oka. I was schooling in Oka. I didn't call them back. I was suggesting, how do I get to Lagos tomorrow morning? I said, okay, let me just tell them. Let me explain to them that I'm not in Lagos. I'll come in the afternoon. By the time I enter like morning bus, and I didn't want to enter night bus. I didn't even, maybe if I knew what I knew now, maybe I would still not enter night bus because I don't like night buses at all. But, it happened that I just called the guy back and said I was not available, that I would be coming the next day. And he said, oh, okay, I'll call you back. And I never heard from him. They didn't call me back. I called. He didn't pick. I later found out that someone else did the character. But even I was fulfilled because I knew that I got this role and I was good enough. That's what he did for me. It gave me some sort of validation. I wasn't able to do anything else until I was on my industrial training now. So the industrial training was 300 level second semester. That was when I had enough time to attend auditions and then wait for them to call me and all that. That's why I eventually got to do my first role in Nollywood. It was a small role in private sector. It was about 4 to 5 scenes in a series. And yeah, that was my first. And that's how the journey started. And since then, it's been one thing upon the heel of another. That was a long story. I hope I've been able to inspire somebody right here. It was really days of little beginning.
Funny
I started
enough,
from the scratch.
funny enough, a lot of the things that you said have answered a few of the questions I already put down.
I'm glad. I'm glad.
So another question I'll just say is being a film school, Pan Atlantic University having a film program, we would also want you to talk to some of our students
Okay.
who are, as coming to this profession. So what would you tell them? Like, what little things would you tell them at the start of their journey now that they should keep in mind so that they would, they will not make some mistakes and they will make some very right decisions that will propel them, in the right direction?
It is a marathon, not a sprint. Do not be in a hurry to blow. That can be very deceptive and distracting. When you do every job like it's your last, put your best foot forward, no matter how small it may seem, no matter who is producing, no matter who you're working with, make sure you put in your best. And let that best not be from a place of, you know, competition. I have to impress. I have to be seen. Just be true to your craft. Be true to your instincts. There's no particular rule for doing anything. Yes, there are rules set down. Know them so that you can break them comfortably. I mean, the way that Jim Ike acted and the way that Michael was originally acted and the way Stanley acts
Yeah.
as an actor mustn't be the way you will act. Be genuine to your feelings, to your craft, your God-given talents. I mean, we have over 8 billion people in the world and they all act. The people are unique. So you cannot bring one style of acting to it, to your craft. I mean, one day at a time. If I had given myself 5 years, I probably would have pulled out. 5 years I didn't blow, 6 years I didn't blow, seven it didn't happen. But because I had the mentality of I'm here for the long haul, I'm here every day. I wake up, I'm passionate about this thing, I'm going for it. I didn't feel discouraged. Even the times I felt discouraged, I just knew that this was just another bad day. I would keep pushing. Would I ever get an AMVCA? I didn't know. But I just thought, okay, if I get it, I'll be grateful, Lord. And it came. And right now, I'm nominated for it, my second AMVCAs. I'm just grateful. You know, it's a step at a time. And I know that my people will say, in Kiroka, you think you have done your best job yet. Wait for tomorrow. There's always something greater. Rattlesnake was great 2020/2021, and right now we are celebrating that for Mayfuna. People don't even remember Rattlesnake and Hannah anymore. A couple of people still remember, but this is very fresh in their memories, and there's so much more ahead of us. There's a place called forward, and that's where we should be aiming for.
Even me too, I'm inspired. That was awesome. Thank you very much. At this point, I think we'll take one more question, but in the meantime, please send in your questions. There's a small question mark icon, so just type in and send in your questions, and we'll take a few before we leave. Okay, so I think my next question is on the personal side. Don't worry, I'm not asking you any personal information.
It's okay. It's okay.
Balance. I know the film industry is very demanding, especially as an actor, learning lines, getting into character for roles, traveling to different locations for shoots. So how do you balance that with your personal life?
So to be honest, it's become a lot more difficult now. My family is growing. I have an 8-year. My son is 8 months next week. Today is 12. Yes, he's 8 months in 6 days. You know, he's growing. He needs more attention. I have to be there for my wife. I have to be there for my siblings. I have to be there for friends. I have to attend weddings. You know, so it's becoming increasingly difficult, but it's a place of wisdom. So right now, I try not to take every film. I'm not just available for every film. You know how there's a time in my career when I just wanted to be, let me just be working. Let me just be making this money. For the 4 5 days, I'm on to another set. I hardly have a day rest. I just tell them I have to go to church on Sunday, but I'm back on set after service. You know, it's like, you know, but you get to a point in your life where you're like, you know what? What am I looking for? Easy peasy. You know, it's already a very tasking job. We put in a lot, and I want to use this opportunity to really send my condolences to the families of my colleagues that were lost this week. I know that it was out of passion for the job that we most times put our lives on the line. Our heart is beating. We know that we might not come out of this. There's a high tendency that this might be the end of it, but we just go ahead and do it anyway. I've had times where people had to do stunts on sets. We've had stunts in this industry where people jumped into Ted Mainland Bridge. You know, yes, that one, he probably knows how to swim and stuff, but we have taken like danger. People have been in more dangerous situations. So it's really so sad that we had to lose 5 comrades, you know, in this way for something that seemed like it could have been avoided. My heart goes out to their family. I was livid when I heard. I was heartbroken. Like, God, the fact that they were so vibrant. You know, like when the older ones die, not like it gets to us, it's painful, but you're like, okay, they've really served, they've done their time, it's time they've handed over the baton. But for people who are still very young, who are still in their 40s and 30s and 20s, it feels really like, why are they handing over the baton now? They haven't even had a run. Like, they're still very energetic. There's so much to do. And I really think about their family. These ones have gone out with great vision and great strength to come back and put food on their table. And this just snatched them. The cold hand of death snatched them. So I really don't, I still haven't recovered. I don't know how to feel. I don't even want to think about what their family is going through. I don't know. So I just even pray that God will just, this kind of things. I lost my mother-in-law in February, and I can tell how I have a glimpse of how he feels, because my mother-in-law was so energetic. She was very, if she felt so powerful to die. Like, oh, no, 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 no. There are people that would die. No, nah, nah, this one, you know. And I, and I constantly have questions, but it is what it is. God gives and He takes. God, death is also in God's plan. It's just that it's painful for us to take. I'm just praying that God will give their families the fortitude to bear and give them great strength that only Him can give. That no amount of sorry will be able to. How many sorry can you tell somebody that loses someone? How many can you, like? How can you even say it? You can just you can just say it, but it's only God that can comfort, and that's my prayer for everybody. Even the industry as a whole is grieving, and yeah, I don't know, how did I get here. Okay, I was talking about my career. I can't remember, but I just thought to do that. Like,
But obviously, that's something that was very important to address. May the Lord grant
mm. Okay,
everybody.
how I'm navigating. Yeah, so I talked about it. It's harder. So I try not to take every job. I try to do, put space in between. For me now, I'm more concerned about telling stories that matter. Instead of wasting my time and just let me just act, make people just be entertained. While I'm entertaining people, what am I teaching? What am I selling? What part of culture? What story am I giving out? So I'm more interested in that. And for anybody that wants me to work with them, it should be considering these things. So I'm producing as well. So the things that I cannot do even just while I'm acting, I try to fix when I'm producing. So
Definitely, because I even noticed that in one of your articles, you mentioned that you don't take any role that goes against your faith as well. So the thing you mentioned about being discerning and knowing exactly what works for you is not everything that you take. So yeah, living by what you see, that's very important. Let me see. So we have a few questions that have been piled up here. Can
okay.
you see the question?
Um, um maybe I don't know the ones I can see. Is that affirmation on your screen? Okay, well, yes, that's affirmation on
Okay,
the
so no,
screen.
no. I mean,
Did you
okay, don't
pin
worry. Let me
them?
read them out.
Okay, that's
Let me
fine.
read them out. So okay, um, let me see. Hmm. Let me look for one that hasn't been answered by what we spoke about.
Okay.
Someone asked whether you will shift into directing as a focus instead of acting later on in your career. So let me just mention the person. Um, this is Glamour Box by Allegra, the actress, asking this question: whether
Oh,
you
I
move
know
into.
Allegra, the actress. Um, I'm gonna direct, but it's not just in my plan for now. Like, I want to get more experience, gain more grounds, build a brand. I mean, there's so much to cover. There's so much ground to cover as an actor that I haven't yet. I'm still a very young man. I'm 35 this year. There's still so much to do. Yeah, I'm 35 next month actually. So there's still a lot to do in this, space that I haven't covered yet. So directing is not, it's not the last thing on my mind, but it's not one of the first. Not
This
now.
time.
This is time.
Okay. Now let's see. So someone asked, Aduz on underscore Aduz asked, how can one pursue acting as a career fresh out of university with a first degree from acting, but with a different degree from acting?
Okay, so it's easy to act now if you're talented. If you're talented, you should be able to. I mean, if you're really talented, it's not. Is that the full film? Let them not go and pirate our film. Oh. The should not
This
pirate
is
our
this is
film.
Netflix.
Oh. But it's a two film that people are now watching it.
I'm not off. Let me tell
Hopefully
you.
they will not understand what. Hopefully they will not understand it because there will be a lot of spoilers there. You can put the poster.
Yes.
That's good. Go and watch it. You cannot watch the film. Go and watch it. Don't come here and be watching it free of charge. Subscribe to Netflix. Go and watch it. See for thanks.
Netflix.
Okay.
Netflix.
Which question
Amazon
was
Prime.
I answering? Hey,
I don't
remind
know if you have any
me.
special deal, but let me just say from my own perspective, yes, go and watch all the Nigerian films out on all the platforms that are supporting us.
Yeah. What question was I answering? I've forgotten. Stan was there. Did you ask me? Did I
How
ask it?
to have
Oh
a
yeah. I remember
that
how
is
to.
different.
So it's easy to act now. So all you need to do is just as I always advise people, you have your page, you have social media, put monologues there. Learn how to deliver monologues, get a skill. Brush your skill. I mean, the best way to act is to act. The more you keep doing it, the better you get at it. Set a mirror before you and act. Look at yourself and judge yourself. Record yourself and see what you have done. And if you have people watch it too for you and post it on your social media pages, tag me, tag directors if it's good enough. If it's not good enough, my brother, rehearse it well. Make sure that you put in your best. And once I've seen monologues that are very good and I cast people for those monologues. There's somebody now that sends me a monologue. Her name is Treasure, and I love it. And I said to her immediately, and I didn't have to watch a lot. I think I watched the first. She did an expression test, and that expression test is something that I failed years ago when Omotola Jalade Kende auditioned me. I think in 2017 or 18. I was so heartbroken. I went home crying. Like, why didn't she pick me? She was in a series called Smoke. And what she asked us to do is just expressions only. Just let me see your face. Smile. Let me see a smile. Let me see anger. And I was just overacting, putting a lot of lines. Said, sorry, I didn't pass. And I went home and I wept. So I felt like I really wanted to work with her and stuff. But that's what this lady sent to me. Just expression test. And I like from just your expression, I can tell if you can act. Sad face. Happy.
Yeah.
Excited. Anxious. And those are the things I saw, and I just liked it immediately. I just now clicked on the second one just to see if she could know what addiction was like. And 2 lines, I was sold, and I'm definitely going to work with her. No caps. I'm going to look for a story. It might not be something big. It might be I don't know what it is, but the way God is, now that I've seen her, as I'm thinking about the ideas and I'm reading stories and people are sending me scripts, I'm seeing her. I have her in my mind. Like I remember her now. So I think that's what people should do. There's no make friends, attend events, try, answer. For some of them they say I'm giving out 5 tickets. That's how I used to attend premieres those days. They just ask one random trivia question: who was the lead actor in this? I will answer. They'll say, "Come and pick your ticket." That's how I'll go. Mingle with the actors, get to meet them, I remember somebody said to me years ago, "Oh, why am I always seeing you in events? I'm always seeing you, but I've never seen you in a movie." I say, wow. Because yes, I used to just win tickets, free tickets. I attended True Birds and a Baby. I attended an award then, Bollywood Born Awards, Best of Nollywood Awards. Just so that I can meet and be in that space, do monologues. Then monologues didn't used to be a thing. The social media was not so much of a thing. It was mostly Twitter at the time. We didn't have Instagram. We could do 1 minute videos and all. But now you have that. Do it. Put it on your page. Tag people. Tag me. And one person will respond. Once it's good, just keep tagging people on it. And definitely somebody will call you. If nobody calls you, just keep doing it. Attend auditions, physical auditions when you can. They always call for auditions online. They always ask for self-tapes. Submit. Don't say, oh, I've submitted before nobody called me. Just keep doing it. Keep at it. And one day, it will happen.
Based on the story that you told us, you just have to continue. And you never know. And I guess just to add to what you're saying, and this is speaking from what you said earlier, your target shouldn't really be on I want to blow or I want to be on the biggest movie. It's just incremental, little by little.
Absolutely. For me, I cannot tell.
Question.
It's just hard to.
Remember the icon on your screen?
Yeah, for me, it's just hard to say what film that I blew with. People say, oh, now this film make I blow. But I've been acting since. It's just been this one. Just No Married in 2016 brought his own quarter. Um, Colorless brought his own quarter. Rattlesnake brought his own quarter in 2020, 2021. Right now, Afamifuna is doing his own. So it's all building on what people now know as the brand standards. So there's never that film. Well, maybe some people have that film, but I don't. I have films that help, to propel the brand.
Okay, I think we have time for like one or two more questions. The next question, people seem to very curious as to whether you'll be taking on new talents. I don't know what they mean by that, but
so I take on new talents, but I do mostly kids. So I have a platform for kids. It's called the Kids Can Act Project. You can check it out on Instagram. So we train kids between the ages of 7, 12. Sometimes we push till 14, depending on how talented they are and how their body structure and sizes. So yeah, it's something I do for kids. I train and discover kids because I want to discover them young. However, there's times too that people ask me, do you have teenagers? And I also scout for teenagers. But I'm not one to always go out and, like I said, if you send me stuff and I like it, whenever we're casting, we'll always have you in mind. But I'm not going out in search for teenage talents or talents in general, majorly kids.
So where can people find more information on that? Your page, right?
So yeah, for my page, you'll get a link at Kids Can Act. It's the page on Instagram, but it's just for kids. So don't come and start sending me adult ones. So if you need to send me a monologue and you're an adult, you can just send it to my DM or just send it to my email. You can send to thelovestorystudios@gmail.com or just send me an email, hello@stanandz.com, and I would just send me a video.
Okay. I think at this point we can start to round up our interview. I want to say a very big thank you to Stan Nze for gracing us with his presence today. Thank you for taking time out to talk to us and just be real, give us real advice, insights, and yeah, it's been an amazing experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for having me. I really had fun.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, I thank you for having me. I really had fun.
Maybe sometime, maybe you can also visit our campus, Atlantic University.
Absolutely, I would.
Our campus. So yeah, ladies and once again, this is PAU Insights, a segment, Instagram live segment where we have industry professionals once a month, and we discuss different things from their fields. And it's not just limited to film; it's also limited to other interesting fields in leadership, education, and what more. So I am your host. This is my first time of doing something like this. My name is Tamilore Adesina. I go by Deshi. My handle is
Deshi. You did such a great job.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So let me just put my hand. T Deshi. You can check out my page. I have some drone shots and some other film work there on my page as well. Thank you so much. And we've come to the end of our maiden edition of PAU Insights. It's been fun. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you for watching Afamifuna, everybody. Spread the love. Thank you for all the love. I see all your messages. I see all the
continue to be number one.
Yes, so I see all your reviews. I see all your prayers. I see all your DMs. I see all your posts. Thank you. Keep them coming. God bless you. Bless you. Bless you so much. As you have supported my work this week, God will also send men to support your own work. Thank you so much, guys. I can't, express my gratitude enough. It's been mind-boggling. I didn't even know that it was going to be this much, but God bless you all. I love you guys from the depth of my heart. Zarius! When I too much, I come up my cap phone. I'm gonna see my dada. My dada. I don't see my dada. See for things. Bye.
To round it up, there's one word I want to say that I just recently learned. Dalu.
Dalu, rinne. You cannot add rinne to it. So yes, dalu is thank you, right?
Okay.
Rinne is so much, like thank you so much.
Okay.
Dalu rinne.
Dalu rinne.
Love it. Rinne, yeah.
All right, bye.
All right, good night, guys.